Are you sick and tired of advertising for your gym, but nobody shows up to the appointments that they set up? This is a big problem that I see with a lot of my partners that we fix for them, getting them anywhere between 60 to 80% sharp rate to the appointments compared to the industry standard, which is anywhere between 15 to 30%. My name is Gabriel and I'm from MidTouch. I'm the owner and we help gym owners to scale to 7 figures by fixing the client acquisition problem for good. Now let me get a sip of my drink, and while I'm doing this I'm going to show you exactly what we call the Ghostbuster process so that we make sure that every single person that sets an appointment, or at least as much as those guys as possible, show up to the appointment. Before going into this, I'm going to give you a play-by-play strategy on all the things you can implement that you can use to get the exact same processes and the exact same results that we get with our anywhere between, as I mentioned, 60 to 80%. But you gotta understand a few principles first before going into this. I'm going to share them with you right now. Number one, you gotta understand that the two things that makes a process to make people show up successful is actually number one, volume, and number two, personalization. You gotta combine those two, and the heavier you go on those two, the better. You're not bothering people. You gotta really understand that you gotta really get them into the facility to save their lives. I'm gonna go into the volume and personalization side a bit later down the road, but I wanna make sure that you guys understand something. Some people may say, oh, but if they don't show up, it means they are not qualified because, well, it means they are not in the right mindset, and when people are only motivated to get there. You and I are guys that are motivating to do some balls. I'm gonna go for a 1 hour run right now. This is my routine, and I guess that this is the exact same thing for you. But the thing is, you gotta realize, and you know that for a fact, that not everybody, especially today, have the same mindset as we have. And that's a really important thing, because you gotta understand that some people, maybe it was easy for you to get ahead and do that. In my situation, I was obese in the past, so actually it was on the other side, and on people that procrastinate, don't come up, don't have the right habits, and don't have the right mindset to be in great health. So I was on both sides. I can tell you that the thing is, the only way you can fix that is by getting them into the facility. So don't blame it on them, blame it on you. Take full responsibility of the fact that you are not getting them to show up. It may be hard to get them to get motivated in the beginning. It may be hard to get them to actually go ahead and do the right things. But I guarantee you that if you are able to do that, you'll create a happy human being. Not only one person, but you're not able to imagine the impact that it's gonna have on everybody else around them. In my situation, for example, this is what got me to start business. So indirectly, I'm gonna help millions of people to get in better health, because I'm gonna help gym owners and other fitness professionals get more members. That's my mission. That's why. And this is the impact of one person. You never know how impactful what the change that you're gonna provide to them is going to be. So make sure it starts with getting them into the facility. Okay? So I'm gonna give you a process that you can leverage and copy and paste that you can use in the gym right now. I'm gonna up on my little screen right here. You can see my process step by step. For retention's sake, of course, I hidden them, all of them, so you guys can stay with me until the end. Of course, this is a retention strategy. You can blame me. I don't give I don't care really, but I guarantee that if you really implement each and every one of those, you are going to get incredible results. So those numbers are estimates. They're not really accurate because it depends on a lot of factors, but I'm going to give you each and every one of them and how to use them perfectly so you can get an incredible sharp rate. Number one is going to be simply using text reminders. Now, we don't really use emails that much because we don't see an incredible amount of results with emails. People don't really open emails nowadays, but text, the scene rate on text is like 95, 97%, which is incredible. On emails, it's nothing similar to this. So what I would advise you guys to do is to do text reminders 48 hours, 24 hours, 6 hours, 1 hour, and 10 minutes before the appointment. Now, one note to add in there is that another additional thing to that's going to increase your sharp rate is to not schedule people too much in advance, because if you do that, people are oftentimes going to forget. So I would advise you to schedule them in advance between 4 to 7-8 days maximum. That's a bit pushing it far, but yeah, we usually see between 4 to 6 days being the best. That's how you're gonna get the most amount of people to show up. One quick thing to add in there, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, is that you have two variables that you're gonna be playing with, which is quantity, as I mentioned, volume, and also personalization. So in there, I would advise you guys to not only throw the names and all that, but also in the personalization part, there is a subset on this that is the fact that they realize they're talking to a real human, because not showing up to just a robot sending you text reminders is quite easy, to be honest, but not showing up to somebody that is ready to take care for you and that you know is excited to see you, it's a way more painful. And if you reverse engineer that, getting people to show up is really making them feel like shit if they don't show up. That's really it. So what I would advise you guys to do is to throw in there. Now for us, we use that a bit earlier in our processes, when we get first in contact with them, when we reach out to them, when they respond to the ad, for example, simple. We say, hey, by the way, this is an automatic test, as you may guess, but if you respond, there is a real human at the end of the line. So if you have any questions, please ask them so that we can answer them and get you on board so you can claim your spot. There is only X amount of spots available. So that's also a great way that you can leverage. Always the goal, scarcity and urgency. Those are always two great levers you can play with. But as you can see, I'm making them realize that there is a human. And if you actually had a conversation with them via text beforehand, it's going to increase your show up rate tremendously. So leverage this, as I mentioned, to get this. Now you can automate most of that. You have softwares and all this to do so. We use Go High Level, but yeah, you can use whatever softwares work for you. Now, this is a way more personalized option, number 2, but it's incredible. And I'm going to show you how to make it systematizable and also take only 30 seconds of your time, but definitely can increase your show up rate by a good 20%. This is sending a personalized selfie video. It's a pretty, I would say, famous one, but it works like wonders. So I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of this one. And I also gave you a little script. So the way we do that with our partners is simply whenever they get an appointment, they get the notifications on their phone. They get a text with John, schedule an appointment at X time, and also here are their contact informations, email, phone number, etc. So they just have to copy and paste the phone number. They just have to follow the script that we gave them, which is something along those lines. I'm going to give you not only the script right here, you can copy and paste that, but also things that you can modify to make it work even better for you. So stay until the end of my little demonstration of my beautiful video. Let's go. So it's John. Hey John, this is Gabriel, one of the coaches at 123 Fitness. I just wanted to show you that we are actual real people, and this is the facility right here at X location behind this other location. And yeah, you're on my team for the program. Incredible program we're running for the holidays right now. I see that you're on the schedule for tonight at 6 p.m. So I just wanted to send you this quick video to introduce myself, but also to tell you that we are excited to meet you and introduce you to everyone. Text me back the size of shirt that you want, and I will put that aside for you. Can't wait to see you soon. So as you can see right here, the tone is extremely important. Of course, having somebody excited. Now, you're not obligated to do this one. You can give that to your front desk person if you have one to handle those situations, those videos, but they really take 30 seconds. Huge play into getting people into the door. Now, once you have this done, you can use this script. I would advise you guys to understand a few things behind this script, because if you understand this, you will be able to do things by yourself and not depend on any agency or coach or consultant to actually, bring you customers, because you will be able to understand that by yourself. I want you guys to understand something, and that's also applicable to other systems that you guys can use to make people show up. Make sure that you drill your address down, because especially if you have one that's a bit tricky to find out, because that's extremely important. If not, they're not going to be able to shop. Pretty self-explanatory here. But also here we are leveraging what we call cognitive biases, which is basically, let's say you have a red button right here and you're like, oh cool, if I do X thing to a human, I'm more than likely to get a certain result that is kind of predictable. That's what a cognitive bias is. And here we're using reciprocity, meaning we're giving them something for free so that they feel entitled and more likely to be like, oh, I'm going to show up because somebody else did a favor for me, so I got to give that back to them by showing up. So if you have any freebies that you can use to give them, a nice thing, like if you offer freebies like t-shirt here, for example, maybe you have free consults or anything like this that you can add in there, you can definitely leverage that to use and leverage that so that you can get more people into the doors. All right, so this is a personalized video. Now I'm going to go into another one that's not used often, but works like bananas. My friend, I'm going to give you confirmation calls. So what we do for us is we personally call the leads and all the appointments that our partners have, even the guys to get them to book an appointment. That's a story for another day. But what we do is we just do a little quick call one day before the appointment and also the same day. Now you can use scarcity here to leverage this and make sure that they do show up. In this example, I'm going to give you 2 examples off the top of my head. If it's not perfect, like it's because I just don't have a script in front of me and I'm just doing that on the go, but it will look like something like this. Hey John, this is Gabriel from 123 Fitness. I just wanted to double check that you're still able to make it for the time for tomorrow, because the spots are filling up like crazy and I want to make sure I save you on. Is everything all right? Incredible. So therefore I see you tomorrow at 6. So that's one day before. And you can then call the same day. Hey John, I just wanted to make sure we had to actually refuse people to come to this spot that you are right now at 6 p.m. because it's going like crazy. The promotion is working incredibly well. So I just wanted to make sure that I can save your spot and you're still good. So I can, save your spot for tonight. Is everything okay? Incredible. I see you at 6 p.m. Something like this. Again, you really drill the fact that there is a lot of demand, a lot of people, etc., etc. That way you get people to actually show up and give a shit about the fact that they are showing up to this. Okay, so that's what I would leverage and do something along those lines when I'm doing confirmation calls one day before and the same day. And by the way, you're probably seeing like, man, this seems overkill, but that's why it works. That's why we get 60 to 80% of people to show up. Numbers talk. If you don't want to do as much, that's not a problem. Somebody else is going to do that for you, and they're going to actually change somebody else's life, but not you. I would advise you to do that if you're going to get incredible results. And I guess that's, if you're still watching this video, tutorial, that's what you are here for. I'm gonna give you now a few bonuses that you guys can leverage, and also one quick thing that I thought about, which is one of the biggest reasons nobody shows up to your gym, if that's the case. So stay until the end before I communicate that to you. Those are two little things that you can not only send them aside from the sequence that I gave you earlier, but you can also put them, as I showed you, into your text reminders, for example, or anywhere else in your process, honestly, so that you can get more people to show up to the gym. So those two are sending freebies. Let's say you are selling weight loss programs, for example. You can send them a PDF. Hey, by the way, just wanted to make sure that you start your weight loss journey early by sending you this quick nutrition guide. It's gonna help you getting kickstart before you even show up tomorrow, okay? Something like this, you can use that and sprinkle that into the text. And actually, I would advise you, again, reminding you of the personalization and giving value over text over the process. If you do that earlier in the process, what's gonna happen is that you are going to get a way better show up rate, because not only, like, the thing with those texts is that it can seem a bit more robotic, and like, oh, it's just a robot. But if you are from the first text sending some value, they're gonna be looking forward to each and every single one of those. That way, it drills the fact again more and more that they gotta show up. Make sense? So if I was you, using those two, which the next one I'm gonna introduce you guys with, but you can sprinkle that into the whole process and it's gonna give you crazy results, definitely. So leverage that. Number two, which is gonna be leveraging content. So if you have, for example, a promo video showcasing all the coaches, the gym, showing group classes and all that, previous success stories, testimonials, things like this to get pumped to show up to the gym, you can again sprinkle that in to your reminders here or anywhere else that you want. Really, if you want to send emails as well, that's cool. We prefer text, but you can also send emails. That's not forbidden. You can definitely do that. And yeah, by doing that, you're gonna get great results to get people show up, and actually they're gonna show up with an ID and excited to get to know you more. That's really the thing that's gonna kind of pre-qualify them and give them even, like, it's gonna help you also down the line to get them to sell memberships in the future. So one thing that I mentioned that goes beyond this process, but it's really, really important, and that's gonna, if you have this happening to you, that's why your show up rate is crap. Don't show your prices on your website or anywhere public. Don't show them, because they won't be able to experience the incredible amount of services and incredible product that you guys are providing before going into the gym, and they make a decision on price, which is not fair. Because the thing is, they tried multiple solutions in the past. It's not the first time they're trying to achieve this goal. But if you're not getting them into the gym and letting them experience the true, the incredible amount of service and community that you guys are creating, what's going to happen is that you're not going to get as many people into the door, because we are leveraging curiosity to get them into the door. So if you put the price in their faces before going into the facility, you're not going to get the results. I guarantee you that. This is one of the biggest reasons why people don't show up to your gym. So put your prices out of your website. Don't do that, and you only drop the price. I actually gave a framework to do that during a sales process in the previous video I made, one of the last 2 videos I made, so you can look for those ones and have an exact step-by-step process. But what we do is we only show the price. We give a sales process to our partners. They only show the price after they did a session. That way, they actually have the endorphin flowing. They also were able to experience what you guys are about, which is making them buy on value, not on price. Because if you want to make them buy on price and you're a low-cost leader,